Following last week's shootout loss, Habs coach Michel Therrien called out both Lars Eller and Jiri Sekac. On this week's Four Down segment, we ask, will this light a fire for his young players, or will it burn bridges for him in the locker room? As always, we invite you to join us on our social networks at facebook.com/RBTL Sports. We welcome to the show two of the biggest misfits in the city. We got cousin Vinny, Shaun Mcmahon from the Beat 92.5. Thanks for taking the time, guys.
Pleasure to be here.
Who's the better looking between you two?
That's Shaun, right?
There it is. There it is. That's what I'm talking about. To my left, RBTL contributor Anthony Cornelli. Thanks for taking the time.
Always.
That was a huge decision by Michel Therrien, guys, not letting them shoot in the shootout. Were you surprised by that?
I think a lot of people were surprised that he went with defensemen to shoot first, right? That was shocking. But I think sometimes you got to send a message as a coach. And Therrien hasn't done that too often. He doesn't publicly send messages. He hasn't done it anyway in recent memory. So I think sometimes a guy like Lars Eller, he's got to pick it up, man. He's got, what, one goal in the new year, I think?
Yeah, I think it was a bold move by the coach to be able to pull that because I don't know in the playoffs not playing your guys because of that very reason. I don't know if I would have went with that, but I think it's a strong statement. I think it's a statement that says, hey, like if you guys are not going to put up, if you guys are not going to be able to step up to the plate, this is what's going to happen. I thought it was a bold move by Michel Therrien.
I think Michel Therrien picks up too much. Like everything's on his plate. The coaches, they go home at night. They're in their offices. They're going through all their training sessions. They're getting divorced because their life is hockey. These guys are on Saint Laurent, skiing the slopes every night. Sometimes they got to pay the price for it.
But hold on. But at the same time, you've got to control the locker room as well, right? You have to create an environment that guys are going to be held liable. You have to have an environment that at the same time you hold the locker room together. This could have maybe split the locker room. I mean, he rolled the dice on this.
I think we're making a little bit too much of the fact that he might lose the room on this one, especially because it's a couple of young guys. If anybody knows anything about Michel Therrien, especially in this second go-around with the Canadiens, he's a guy who supports his veterans. Seeing Markov on a shootout, that move doesn't surprise me. I mean, he's got a little bit of history there. He's been successful in the past. Calling out a couple of youngsters, you know, it's something Michel's done in the past as well. And for a couple of guys who've been struggling to put the puck in the net, you know, maybe he wants that comment back after the game, calling him out a little bit.
But the last thing that you need as a young player, right, is additional pressure.
Well, you don't want to point it out to you.
Right, so what does that create to the guy who says, hey, I've had one goal in the last 9 games, and here I am, well, now I'm starting to panic, now I'm overthinking, now I'm overplaying the puck, now I'm overskating, now I'm overchecking, and all of a sudden you've got a guy who's not producing and paying the price for it.
The average person goes to work in a factory for $9 an hour. These guys are playing the game they love and making millions. Therrien is doing his job. Coaches cannot always be the bad guy.
So you would do the same in soccer? You would do with regards to you guys?
Absolutely.
If the guys are not...
Absolutely. I got to call out the guys. They're big enough. They're adults. They're in the NHL. They're going up against 6'8" guys.
But there are some guys who will not take that lightly. There's some guys who don't respond well to it, right?
Look, when you're brought in to score goals and you're not scoring, it's only a matter of time before that's going to happen. And let's be honest, Therrien is an intimidating guy, isn't he? If you were playing for him, if you're a young guy in the league.
If his press conferences are any indication, I mean,
I'd be scared if I'm Lars Eller right now.
Canadiens are on a 9-game winning streak, and Therrien looks like his mom just died, you know? So it's like, I would be scared.
But truth be told, when it comes to Lars Eller, I mean, if we think back a little bit, he was benched, came back, and was a better Lars Eller. If anybody's going to benefit from a bit of a kick in the butt, it's going to be a guy like Lars Eller. And Sekac is a rookie. He's a little bit older, granted, but he's a rookie. Given a young guy a little bit of extra motivation, you don't like to see them using the media. To be honest, I think if Michel had a chance to take that comment back, he probably would want to take it back. It's not his style, but if you're passionate about your team, you're going to say things sometimes in the heat of the moment. I've been in that room at the Bell Center. Sometimes things are said and you go, I can't believe he said that. But in the locker room, guys like Pacioretty, the calming presence of a guy like Carey Price, I don't think there's any danger in that room. Brian Wild from CTV, I heard him mention the other day, this is the most resilient, confident group of players he's seen in a really long time.
And now, if I'm not mistaken, the youngest core in the National Hockey League because of injuries as well.
There you go.
So stay right there, gentlemen. After the break, I want to switch gears. I want to talk about the big man, Zdeno Chara. You don't want to miss it. All that and more happening right here on Read Between the Lines. Stay with us.
Read Between the Lines is brought to you by enconfiance.ca. Find your dream home.